That I want to be an Instagram model.
I think you'd thrive in that environment.
Yeah. Actually, I say Instagram model, but really what I want to do, have you ever watched any of those videos where someone's like shooting down at um, they're not really explainer videos, but they're like live demo videos of like how I work type
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
You don't talk about like, well, you posted the overhead projector in the Slack channel, right? And you were like, what's wrong with this image? Was that
Yeah.
you? What was wrong with the image? This beyond it being an overhead projector.
So it assumed that the light source came from the top and projected down, and
Oh,
the rays of light were shooting from the base instead of going up through the magnifying glass.
that's awesome. I did not notice that. I did not. That's awesome. I did notice that the quarters were not actually quarters. So,
I
what
laughed
what's
when you put that down as your answer. I laughed so hard. I was like, of course that's what he saw.
the, the little lights aren't twinkling, Clark.
Yeah, in all honesty, it took me a minute or so to recognize that the light source was wrong. I just was staring at it for a while, and I'm like, something is so not right about this. I'm not. This is not right, and I don't know what it is. And then I'm like, oh, look at that.
The so the I want to give in this so not right kind of thing. Larry Long Jr. Jumped on board with the caricature thing.
Ah,
I'm going to show his LinkedIn post where it shows his caricatures, and it's absolutely hilarious on the whole so not right thing. But so in the last, call it 90 days, my two most popular shorts are me using this thing, like showing how this thing works. Now they didn't go at first, meaning it was kind of a slow roll, slow go, but they're starting to build momentum. And now it's doing again, squirrel, shiny thing. You start chasing crap as I do. And now it's making me think, oh, okay, you know what? Good morning, Wendy. There's a maybe what I need to do, in addition to some of the other stuff that I do with the whiteboarding and building and doing it all, doing that kind of stuff. Maybe what I need to do is demonstrate some of the tools that I use every day and what that workflow looks like, and just let things pick it up. Look, thank you. Oh, so there's something to that. So yeah, so that's so I'm going to do 100-day review, because now I've had this thing sitting in my been using it now for just over 100 days, and it is I like it much better than I think parts of my family might like it. It's kind of interesting to see that when you look at the video, you're like, you know what, everybody's got like this leadership and this sales stuff, and this is they want to see.
no, and I can tell you why too. But first, I'm
Yeah.
with. You got to switch me back to the other side. This is driving me nuts.
Okay.
It's driving Craig nuts too. So
Well, I think that's good. I think that's good. So on
okay.
days we're gonna have like bizarro days, like April Fools. One of the things I've done in the past is I've shown up on April Fools videos wearing a white T-shirt. And Wendy, it is a remarkable Paper Pro move, and it's just the mini version of a remarkable. And from a workflow perspective, I typically write on note cards like this, and I have just different ink colors that I use for different purposes. The reason I picked this up is because I can write in color. The thing I found that is the most useful piece of this tool is the Slack integration. And I could take my handwriting, which peaked in second grade, and it converts it to text and loads it up as a canvas into Slack. And then once that's in the Slack instance, then we can do whatever we need to do with it, which includes, if I put a little box, like I will do, I don't have one up there, but I'll put a little box. It actually has, it will create check boxes or checklist that when we go through and kind of check things off in Slack, then they get done. And to-do lists are extremely important for me, because if I don't have that list available, it won't get to done. Like it just doesn't make the transition to that piece because I get super excited about
Undone.
right rabbit holes. So anyway, so there you go. I think I'm officially announcing my Instagram model initiative, which is going to
Well,
make it.
you're a hand model basically because you're gonna have to hold up the device, and your hand is going to be shown. So
So what I got to figure out is like, what's the how do what's the best way to shoot that kind of stuff without me being like, you know, do I have to get like a boom off of my camera thing? Can I reuse this thing? Like, any recommendations? I know that's not the news, it's not AI, but it's actually tech that we work with on a daily basis.
no,
How does this work?
some people build contraptions that hold
Okay.
your camera on top. I know Kevin Thorne built one.
Like kind of a rigging,
Yeah, to
like a
hold
mini
to hold the
rigging kind of
camera
thing? Yeah.
facing down. You can buy stuff that do it. If you have a regular like iPhone mount that sits on a tripod, you can
Yep.
take that off and mount it on a boom arm and just put it over your work if
That
you
might be
want to
the thing
do
to do.
that.
Like use this, basically
Yeah,
mount it on
use
here.
that
Hold it
boom arm, but put
down.
a
Yeah.
instead of a microphone mount on the end of it, just put a camera mount on the end of it, and put your iPhone on it or your camera. Even if it's got a quarter 20, you can just screw it into that
Yeah.
and mount it just fine. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it, but lots of people do it. So
One of so this janky newer boom mic thing that I use has to stay in just about the same place or it'll just fall because the little knobby things
oh
are
yeah,
are are stripped and I'm like it's one of those where if I get it right in the right place it's good and I can keep it there and
yeah.
then when it falls and I'm like damn I should order some new ones but then I get it in the right place and then don't think about ordering the new ones until it falls. So um Wendy has a stand that the camera sits above with a light. Wendy, add a link to that in the Slack channel. I would like to see that if you can. So I'm in the market for
You can if
a
you
solution.
if you just want well, you're going to be handwriting, so yeah, so you need an extra camera source. I was going to say you could just plug it in. I know my iPad, I can display my iPad and do screen captures and
Sure.
stuff
Yeah.
on my monitor, and so then I can just share that
So
screen.
that's the second coolest thing about this fucking device. Excuse me. Um, so one of the challenges you've run into, or I've run into historically when I've tried to do that kind of stuff, is the kind of the fumbling around of, hey, how do I have my iPad display when I'm at an event? Well, you've got to plug it directly into the iPad, which is good, and that'll work. And then you can kind of move things around. Everything's good there. Well, with this, I can have the app display on my laptop. So the app pushes up to the projector,
Mhm.
and this connects to my laptop. So it's like a moving whiteboard. So the whiteboard stays up on the screen, but I get to move around in the audience and actually write while doing
On
it.
the pad. That's
And the lag
awesome.
is like so short. It's just going to get better. But the lag irritates me because I just don't like to see any of it. But the lag is so good that it's just amazing. And of course, the way that I test this, I'm like at home plugging my laptop into the TV, and I'm like, Jen, you got to see this. It's like I do not want to see that crap. So there you go. I'm gonna go show the rest of the people on YouTube that crap. Um, so thanks for humoring
It's
me as
awesome.
I warm up. It is. It's absolutely awesome. Like I'm
Most people don't spend the time to discover awesome. So it's good that you have found awesome.
I just channeled my inner Spicoli. Like
It
awesome.
exists. The awesome exists. I think your volume got a little quiet when you jiggered your microphone around. I don't think your mic is directionally pointing at you
I hate when my mic is not pointing at me. Any
or
better?
something like that. I don't know.
Any better?
It could be on my end too. I don't know. But anyways,
All right. We got news.
We do have news today. I don't know if it's any good, but I rehired our executive producer and said, "Hey, one more time, just come up with something good, will you?" So
Now,
we'll see how it
did you
goes.
have to put the executive producer on like a performance improvement plan,
He's
write them
on a tip
up,
already, yeah, for sure.
any of that kind of stuff, or are we still within the 90-day period, or do the machines not have rights?
That could be a story in and of itself, I guess, right? But now you've gone over the edge. Good morning, learners. It's Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. I'm your host. So is Mike. And if you haven't been replaced by a localized LLM yet, congratulations. You're still a human for now. Let's get into the news that makes your Friday afternoon mandatory training look like a vacation. Breaking news from USC Viterby. Viterby? Breaking news from USC, blah, whatever that is, researchers just discovered that individual neurons possess casual fractal memory. Essentially, your neurons aren't just wired, they're tiny, stubborn filing cabinets. They found that the electrical activity of a single neuron contains the roadmap for the entire network. Why is this important to L&D? Well, if neurons have memory, it means our learners don't have excuses anymore. I forgot my password is now a physiological lie. I expect L&D professionals to start making neuron-specific microlearning. We're talking about targeting Bob from accounting's left frontal lobe specifically so he finally learns how to use the pivot table. It's not a workshop, it's a localized brain pulse. You know where the humor is in this particular story is I expect L&D professionals to start marketing neuron-specific microlearning because it's so true. How long before some marketing department gets a hold of this research and they're like, I got it. I got this great idea for a new product.
It is I like the number of times that when stuff like this pops up where you're like, oh, I can see where this goes. Like
I can see what's coming next.
And yet at the same time, for whatever reason, we fail to execute on the things that are right in front of us. So, okay, we can see where it goes before we can understand where things fail and what the challenge is. It's like there was and this is a comment that a lot of people run into, but there was a boss that I had a while back, and would always come up with some new kind of thing, and they were like, "Okay, this is what we're going to do," and it was the new process kind of stuff. And there was early on, I would push back and be like, why are we implementing the new thing? What's, what that kind of stuff, because it was different than workflow. Then I realized, you know what, I was better off just not pushing back, letting it play itself out, because it was going to disappear and there was going to be some new shiny thing that was going to pop up in a couple of weeks anyway. So
raise your hand if you've experienced that.
So this is one of the so, yep.
If you are a manager or a leader in your organization,
Ooh, hold on.
Don't be that.
I have to do this just because of the delayed piece. So this is because we're looking at the chat. Craig loves this idea. I think he loves this idea because there's a new learning style that we're getting ready to implement, which is micro synapsing.
Neuron specific micro learning.
Sorry, neuron specific micro learning. Excuse me. Craig, I just want to confirm, is that the idea that you love? The timing was perfect. All right.
But now we got to wait 2 minutes. Oh, unless you're following him in the Slack.
I'll get the Slack going.
I'm in the wrong one.
So next, you started going with the second story.
Oh, Craig's got the bitchin' set up. Look at that. Sorry, everybody that's not watching the Slack channel. You know, you could be in the Slack channel hanging out with us.
Yeah. Look at all the soundproofing he's got in there.
I know, you and I suck.
Absolutely. Bunch of fucking amateurs. What is this, amateur hour?
Well, there it is. In tech and innovation, Clemson University just signed a massive deal with OpenAI. They're giving ChatGPT to everyone, faculty, staff, and students. They're calling it a human-centered approach.
That's awesome. It's like the Ring doorbell is there to help you find your dog. Yeah. Okay.
I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. L&D friends, this is the innovation story of the day. If you don't have a formal AI strategy by lunch, you are officially the overhead projector of the department. This move signals that learning in 2026 isn't about knowing the answer. It's about knowing how to bully the AI until it gives you the answer you want. I don't understand how that part of the script relates to the first part of the script. Do you? Did that make sense to you, that story? Like they could have just ended at the first two sentences.
I got caught up on the human-centric piece, obviously, then followed by the
and that's what I mean. It could have just ended right there.
And then the bullying. Like did it say bullying? Is that what it said? Did I miss that?
I thought it did. L&D. Oh, maybe not. Wow, did we just make that up?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, like there are things that are said, there are things that are heard, and there are things that are remembered. And when you're distracted, it's really hard to hear things.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop this into the Slack, and one of our producers can take a look at it. And
yeah, and so Craig's talking about wetware. Wetware has been one of those things that's been out there, number of different areas. I mean, the whole Marie Antoinette, right? There's nothing new except what has been forgotten. We see as far as we can see because we stand on the shoulders of giants, which is a Newton one. Craig is throwing shade at the Johnny Mnemonic guys for taking things from the pre-Matrix Matrix movie. I didn't know that Johnny Mnemonic was a Matrix sequel, but prequel. Excuse me, prequel. There we go. And then what is for a lot of the people who like the Dune movie and said it's amazing how Dune borrowed from Star Wars, and then they forget that Dune was actually written before that. Like it's all a matter of perspective. And
people also forget or just don't understand or are ignorant to the fact that every good story follows the same arc.
Yeah.
It's been common throughout the centuries.
If you want to go deep on that, just look into this guy named Joseph Campbell, who has done a lot of work on Hero's Journey.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
And Power of Myth, I think. Power or Legend of Myth was his PBS episode where he goes pretty deep into this stuff. And then Donald, from a sales and marketing perspective, I think the person who did a really good job in applying it in that context, specifically around the marketing and sales side of things, is Donald Miller, and his book Building a Story Brand, and his SB7. And if anybody wants to go really deep on any of this stuff, then you start to get into people like McKee as an example. Or if you have questions on it, I can share some of the resources that I use when I get into the story aspects of sales. All right.
Well,
So
everybody's talking stories these days.
why? What do you think? Is that just us like being excited because we see a yellow Jeep drive down the street, and now it's this whole like
Oh, the whole
recency
bias.
bias kind of
Yeah.
thing, or like? But do you feel that? Do you feel like everybody's talking about story?
No, I think everybody's been talking about, well, at least in my world of L&D specifically, we've been talking about telling stories, story building, the story arc for a long time.
Yeah.
Nancy Duarte has been talking
Oh,
about the story arc and building presentations.
yeah.
Since the early days of digital presentations and the internet, um, even before Nancy Duarte, there was a guy, I forget his name, but he did presentationzen.com was like the most popular place. We were all blogging about it and talking about this guy who's totally figured out the visual part of presentations. I don't even know if his website still exists, but yeah, he was the first one to get to get us all talking about, especially related to PowerPoint, not streaming, but online stuff.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
So what is it about story though, from an instructional design perspective and a learning perspective, or even just going through your stuff, which is training is an event, learning is a process. Technology enables both of those. Performances the objective is the desired outcome. Like where does story fit in to all of that?
I think the biggest part is in gaining. Part of it is gaining your learner's attention. The part of because that's built into storytelling too. So Gagne's 9 events of instruction. The very first one is you need to get their attention. And so I'd say that's the first one, but then there's also just the idea of, people remember things that move them emotionally, and stories have a way of doing that. Stories have a natural people understand stories, so there is prior knowledge. It's an easy way for people to transfer knowledge from one person to another through a story. So you can tell somebody, I don't know, you can tell somebody about a math equation or something like that, right? But if you tell them a story about how a major disaster was, averted because you used this math thing and how it and solved this big problem, and this is how it worked, people are probably more likely to remember it than just the rote fact of here's a mathematical computation that you can use for many things. Okay, let's move on. So I mean, I think telling stories is powerful along many levels.
Well, I mean, think about it. How many people now know what Fibonacci's sequence is after watching the Dunkin' commercial this weekend? Did you see that during the Super Bowl?
I don't think I saw that one. No.
Yeah. So go take a look at the Dunkin' commercial, and there you go for a story. So they're Fibonacci.
I know the
Cool.
Fibonacci sequence, but I didn't see it referenced in a commercial.
It's good. It's well done. A couple of really good throwbacks and some fun in that.
Well, okay, so now we've got our I think it's our life story, our human story. Listen up, compliance officers. The EU AI Act requirements start this month. By August, the full weight of the law hits. If your AI is banned or your staff isn't AI literate, you're not just looking at a slap on the wrist. You're looking at fines that could buy a small island. Why this matters. We are moving from best practice to legal requirement. Your AI 101 module isn't a nice to have anymore. It's a get out of jail free card. If you haven't updated your compliance suite to include not getting sued by the EU, now would be the time. I would say that's a good story to talk about. I think it's popped up before,
Yeah.
but it is important for a couple of reasons, I think, because number one, with all these regulations coming out, L&D is still needed. Woohoo! AI can't solve this problem yet. There's been no precedent set yet where the law says you have to teach all of your people about AI. And you say, oh, well, we bought AI and the AI is teaching everybody AI, so we don't have to worry about it. Can't do that yet. We're still bound by the mandatory hour sit in a chair training to check a box to be legally compliant. So
here's the cool part about that is even if compliance is like the catalyst for doing that or the thing that makes it happen, it doesn't mean that it has to stop there. Like and what I mean there is, okay, cool. So compliance is the thing that gets you in the door. All right, now let's do something. Now let's do something here. And I've got it's showing up there now, I think.
Yep.
And we can kind of mess around with these. Like this is another view that we may want to use. That's actually just makes it a little bit small. It ends up cutting it off, so there's a little bit of zoom. And we're testing some stuff to get ready for our live or our hackathon on Wednesday. But as an L&D professional, if you get frustrated that, hey, the only reason they're bringing me in is to do this compliance stuff, be super stoked that they brought you in to do the compliance stuff. And then while you're working on it, find opportunities to help do some more things. It's good to see Brent's nonverbal as he can't get the thing.
Sorry,
sign up right.
I got it in there now.
So I think the other thing to think about there is that's gonna anyway the from an aspect ratio perspective, having that set up like that is going to end up being like it will always take up the 2/3. It looks like what Restream does in this kind of thing is it basically splits the screen up into thirds, and 2/3 of it is applied to the content that you're sharing, which ultimately means keeping that kind of aspect ratio, which is what I just kind of screwed around with trying to have Slack live inside the system, squirrel. But if the compliance stuff gets you in the door, do so freaking well on that, and then ask questions and create opportunity for you to do more in someplace else. Don't play the victim of all they care about is compliance. I've got all this cool neuro micro learning stuff that I
neuron specific
micro learning that I want to get into. And
we're targeting the frontal lobe of Bob in sales, remember?
Yeah, hold on. Does Bob really have a frontal lobe?
Not if he's working in sales.
Teed it up. There we go. All right.
Well, here, you know what? This particular story falls into our conversations around always check your sources. If that story sounds too good to be true or is being hyped up, try to figure out who's telling that particular story. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the company KnowBe4, Mike, tell us what KnowBe4 does.
They are a human factor risk cybersecurity company that is focused on cybersecurity awareness training. They do some behavior specific stuff. All the phishing, if you've ever been phished, there's a chance that the company you work for used KnowBe4 at some point in time, or used a couple of other ones. And I was fortunate enough to work for a competitor of this group, which was CyberSafe back in the day.
Yeah, so Know Before is the one that wrote this article, and this is what got scraped to be that story. So if you want to read this article, hit up Know Before, check it out.
So this is kind of interesting. Is that article just on the Know Before site? Like it's all what's the main webpage that this is on?
Yeah,
Because it looks like it's the Know Before site.
yeah, it is.
So they just have it presented with a kind of like a byline and date as an article. Like even though it says subscribe to our blog, they've just got to present it as an article. All right, we're gonna test the fuck out of something. We're gonna create.
This is how you get to, they call it AIEO instead of SEO.
I thought that was old McDonald.
Yeah.
The we're going to do a compliance blog
AI optimization.
AIEIO.
Yeah, so here's the article: AI literacy training from best practice to legal requirement under the new EU AI Act. So here's all the information about the EU AI Act, EIEIO.
Shockingly on their website.
Absolutely. You always link to your own content. You don't give other people link love. Come on, man.
Link Love. That would be a great band name. What do you think? Could that be the AI band? Link Love?
Link love. That'll be my new handle.
All right. I want to test something. We're going to do that one was January 22nd. And then this follow-up one was it yesterday? Is that the I want to test
Which one?
I want to test something on our blog to see if we could get our AI
Get the AIs and the chat GPTs to use you as a primary source.
And my goal is to I'm gonna see if we can nail it either on the compliance or industry specific side. All right, so my challenge here in the next 30 days.
Get into the news of the day.
In the next 30 days, I have a goal. I'm going to share it out loud with the rest of the world. I want one of my articles to be highlighted by our executive producer.
Did you hear that, Gemini? You got to go look at findyourcatalyst.com.
I got to put it on a different site just because of the way that things are set up. But yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna see if we can have a little bit of fun with that.
We absolutely should. So, actually, it's a good story. I do like those stories, and I don't mind that the compliance stuff keeps coming up because these are the little tiny stories, the positive stories that people need to hear instead of going, "Oh my God, AI is taking my job." Hey, at least part of your job for the next short term is creating some AI 101 training for all of your people. Yeah. So, call that a win. In our authoring tools segment, finally in authoring tools, Adobe Captivate is doubling down on its new generation version. They've integrated Adobe Firefly directly into the tool. You can now generate images from text prompts and polish your script with one click. Instructional designers, your job just became 50% prompt engineer and 50% hiding the fact that you used AI to write the scenario about the difficult coworker.
Can't you just reprompt the AI to change it so it doesn't look like it was written by AI?
Well, if you were a good prompt engineer. With mergers like Fitch and Moody's happening in the background, the tools are getting bigger, but the time to competency is getting shorter. If you're still manually resizing images in 2026, I have a VHS tape of how to use Windows 95 to sell you.
It's almost like the producer was watching you try to get this news article in the frame.
Totally was. Well, are you saying I'm like Windows 95? Yeah, that was an old guy shouting at cloud moment. That's the brief for today. I'm off to see if my neurons can remember where I parked my car. Stay curious, stay compliant, and for the love of Gagne, stop using Comic Sans in your slide decks.
Did it really throw Gagne in there?
Uh-huh.
So, and That's awesome. Because so is that why you mentioned Kanye earlier, or did you?
No, see what that was just a total coincidence.
That's freaking amazing. So
It's
there's
weird. And I didn't even read ahead to know that it was coming.
that's cool. So, because I wrote up Kanye here because I want to have a little bit of fun with that, connecting the dots between this whole like
Oh, totally.
sales, marketing, training, like all of that kind of stuff, and just work through the arc that someone goes through when you do this. Uh, Wendy threw in a comment here. Remember when we talked about experience in jobs? She saw one the other day that wants 8 years of experience for an AI architect.
That's awesome.
Freaking awesome. It's so cool. So cool. It's like did you ever see the movie? Do you remember when all the stuff was going on around cold fusion? Like, hey, we're gonna have
Oh
these cold
yeah,
fusion
totally.
reactors. It's just gonna completely change the way the power goes. And then there were like kids who or whoever who was able to do, they said they were able to do it. And then the cool thing about science is you you demonstrate that you can do something, and then you go in and you repeat it. And if it's not repeatable, you didn't really, you may not have done it the first time, or something else happened, or you didn't get enough information or something. Like sometimes people lie, and they say that they've been able to do stuff, like that vendor who says, yes, you will see a 10x return on your investment in the next 90 days. And then you realize, oh, I have to train my people on how to use this thing. But wow, this is absolutely freaking awesome. 8 years of experience for an AI architect. Huh. I would love to see a link if you find it, Wendy, to that request, because I want to know the company that put that out there publicly.
We want to shame them.
No, I don't want to shame them. I just want to know, just because I want to laugh. I want to see how many of their products am I actually using in my household, and if so, let's move on.
Yeah, so just know there
we go, cold fusion.
are people out there who have been working quote unquote AI for decades even.
Sure.
So it's not that uncommon. I mean, I believe MIT has had an AI degree or something like that, back, way back. It wouldn't, if they're looking for an architect, right? Like somebody that can build the back end and build a custom LLM, all that kind of stuff. There probably are people out there who do have more experience than just what is available commercially. Like when ChatGPT first launched as hey, now everybody can have fun with AI. It had actually been around for a very long time before that particular, fold in the universe occurred.
But the challenge I've got with some of this stuff, so yeah, you can find people who might have been on the cutting edge on some of these things. Let's say they work for some government organization and they had access to certain things for whatever reason, or a version of whatever. And but is that really what you need to build your capability with current technology to build an LLM? I don't know. And but sometimes we struggle with pushing back on those requirements. Like, so I remember when it was Watson. Yeah, that was an IBM thing, right? I mean, heck, I
You know
remember
what?
I was at
Yeah.
I was at the Salesforce or Dreamforce back in 2016. It's 2016. Could have been 2017. Either one of those. But it was the year that they announced Einstein.
Yeah.
They rolled out Einstein inside Salesforce, and all this stuff was going on.
I don't remember what year it was, but it feels like forever ago. It was my first time at South by Southwest, and I went into the IBM house.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to South by?
I have not.
It is an experience to behold. I don't know if it's
Really?
still the same as it used to be, but basically these big giant companies will buy a whole office complex and turn it into their custom event location.
Oh,
And
that's
so
cool.
all these homes in the Austin downtown area get basically rented out, completely remodeled and redone by the marketing teams and filled with salespeople and all sorts of really cool demos and all that kind of stuff. That was where I saw the Watson stuff for the first time, where it would do personality profiling automatically on the fly and a bunch of weird stuff like that. And yeah.
A lot of the time though, what we were calling AI back then, wasn't just, it was moving through large amounts of data at scale, like all of the and we've talked about this before in the context of like branching scenarios, but at that point in time, isn't that what we were really looking at, is just multiple branching scenarios? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to stop talking.
No, it's good.
So but yeah, like was it really AI, or was it something that kind of felt like it was AI because it looked magical? Like that's the some things just look. Is it, somebody define technology as that? Did somebody define?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it is the Marshall McLuhan. Marshall I think was the one that said any new technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah.
Not any new tech, any
sufficiently advanced technology.
Yes.
It's indistinguishable from magic. Yeah.
Yes.
And it was I'm just looking for to source the quote, but that is the quote. That is the quote. It's
a great one. It's a great one.
Yeah.
I remember, so there was a time when, before AI was commercialized, but it was still considered a thing, where I will try to be as nameless as possible to protect the innocent. But there was a time where companies that proclaimed to have AI selecting stories for you, kind of in the way that we've got Gemini selecting our news stories, was really just a room full of underpaid workers in another country, constantly finding new stories related to whatever search key came in and updating the landing page that they were receiving to match the day's news, to match whatever.
If you'd like to go into my nightmare from a number of years ago, go watch the documentary that was out on HBO called Silicon Valley. And it wasn't really a documentary, but it was so close. It was like Dilbert in real life relative to what it's like being inside a startup. And one of the challenges, one of the things that they run into is basically that same kind of story, or they share that same kind of story. So it was Arthur C. Clarke who said any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Arthur C. Clarke was the one who had said that. And it's have you seen Dial of Destiny?
Dial of Destiny?
Is that's what it is? It's the most recent Indiana Jones.
No. Oh no, I haven't seen it. I stopped watching that series a long time ago.
That's worth watching.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's very well done. Like a lot of nods to the past, and like much better than the one that happened before that. Right before that, I forget. That one was like Crystal Skulls. Yeah, it just. But Dial of Destiny is really good, and one of the cool things that happens in it is they show what happens when a civilization sees technology or their view on what happens when someone sees technology and how it gets interpreted for the first time. And it's pretty interesting. So go watch it, and then we can talk about
Okay.
we can talk.
I have to do a mea culpa here. I apparently have skipped a story of the day.
What do you skip?
I skipped our industry specific story.
Oh, I thought that was the last one that you did when we got into maybe I saw them combined. I thought the know before one was getting into what was the industry specific one?
The industry specific one is the banking battle. In
Oh,
our industry
all right.
spotlight, finance, research, and markets just added a 1-day AI innovation in banking course to their roster. Why? Because the finance sector is currently in a technology arms race against criminals using AI to commit fraud. L&D and finance isn't about customer service right now. It's about cyber defense. If your bank tellers aren't trained in detecting deep fake voice clones by Friday, you might as well just leave the vault open and put out a bowl of mints.
The one thing that sucks about doing this show with you,
it's all about it's me. It's not you, it's me, Mike.
is I hear these stories and I get lost in the pattern recognition. Like I lose the detail or the nuance of the story because I'm waiting for or get caught up in oh, here we go again. If you're this, then that. And what it's making me think is I have to incorporate more of that. I call it crap, but more of the what do they call more of the junk food into my content. So if you're still doing this, then da 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 da. And so that's one of the things I hate is it's kind of opened my eyes to.
Well, so it's the way I always look at it is this. If you are really smart in one particular vertical, not you, anybody. When I mean you, I mean everybody. Everybody gets really smart. Everybody gets really smart at one particular thing, right? And you're at like this level, you cannot make any money talking at this level. You can be really wicked smart, but where the market meets you is down here.
Yes.
So you have more fun up here because that's where you are. And you like to talk with the 5 other people in the world that are awesome and that love that vertical too, way up there. But if you want to talk to the rest of the world, you have to dumb everything down. This is your market right here. And you're going to go, yeah, I just assumed everybody knew that. But no, everybody doesn't. It took me a long time to learn and to figure that out.
I am working on it. One day.
I can't say I've ever executed on it successfully. I'm just saying it's a pattern I've seen. I know I get into it, and I've seen others fall into that struggle as well. So, for whatever that's worth.
Well,
did I share the link of the global news thing? Yeah. Okay.
You got dropped it in there.
Yeah. In case anybody wants to go see
homework.
about that.
Wendy, did you see Dial of Destiny? I know I've got to wait like 2 minutes for this to show up. Unless I'm looking at the Slack, it might show up.
Oh, you're just going off the rails, Mike. I can't believe that.
I know, but so all right. So we got the banking piece. Well,
the important thing is to tie this back to the cybersecurity piece too, right? I mean, there's the common element here, and the part that I think overall for all of today's stories, if we were to wrap up today's stories for everyone, I think it's safe to say that we still have a job to do. You don't have to be so freaked out about AI if you're focused on the right things. If you are impacted by this EU AI Act, okay, your company, figure out how you can be proactive and come up with a solution to help your company be prepared for it. Don't sit around and wait for leadership to come to you and say, hey, did you guys know there's this new act that we have to be compliant to? I just got a message from my CEO coach. He wanted to know if we were doing this, and I'm like, I don't know. My L&D team hasn't told me shit. So get out there and be proactive in knowing that this kind of stuff is coming, and this is the kind of stuff where you get wins. This is the low-hanging fruit. This is you being a leader. It's you picking up an understanding of the industry that you work in, the regulations that the business is forced to work in. You can either sit back and say, but that's somebody else's job. That's legal's job. That's IT department's job. What we got so much other stuff we're working on right now. We've already done our KPIs for the year, and we're heads down. We don't have time for that. Well, okay, you can be that way, or you can figure out a way to understand that a breach could shut down the business or at least extremely negatively impact it. And your leadership's going to come to you and say, how come you didn't help us? Did you know about this thing? So that's where this all ties in today. There's optimism in this whole AI thing. You just have to find it. You just have to get out there and find it. And training people on AI is now mandatory. It's a government mandate expectation, at least in the EU. But it's also just a darn good thing to do. That's where the value is. That's what everybody's talking about. So why not be proactive and say, hey, we're the training team. We can help the employees in the business become better at using AI to be more performance enabled, performance enhanced, to become better at what they do, because that's what we do.
And you know how to do it. Like, you've been there before, you've done it, you've delivered in whatever context. Lean on that and then execute inside the business. And as you learn, when you have the conversation with the executive, whomever it is that you need to get to buy in on the thing that has worked best for me historically is starting with a question. Have your information, pull your data together, be prepared, and ask the right question in the right context. And that can be the spark that opens up the rest of the conversation. Here's how to not do it. Don't be in a room in your weekly meeting with that executive and ask the question there, because you're putting them on the spot. They won't know the answer, and they're going to kind of fumble around. And before you know it, whatever it is that you've got on there is going to be put into a parking lot that nobody is ever going to go touch or see. In your one-on-one, though, ask a question. And in the one-on-one, now you've got an opportunity to start to see their nonverbal. How do they respond? Remember, people have goals and objectives inside their business. And if you can tie the thing that you want to do to those goals and objectives, you're going to be in a better position to help the organization the way that you know you can. So yeah, this is an awesome time to be around.
There's a lot of work to be done still, for sure. And the thing is that nobody knows the future either. Nobody really knows how all of this stuff's going to impact. Every company is scrambling, and they're all going to be doing things differently. So we're in a great spot, and we're here to help you guys all be successful and to kind of enjoy it. Enjoy the ride.
So we've got something planned on Wednesday next week to help enable the ride. Like, you're going to go on the ride. So what do we got going on Wednesday?
So next week we're going to be doing a hackathon. We're going to have all 4 platforms represented by somebody. We're going to give a challenge. Everyone's going to use their particular platform to create the solution or solve the problem, or do whatever the challenge is. We're not even sure what the challenge is yet, but we are looking for people. Still, we need somebody to sit at the Perplexity table, and we need somebody to sit at the Gemini or Google table. So we've already got a Copilot user and we've got a ChatGPT user. Those seats are filled. So if you know anybody in the Perplexity world or doing the Gemini thing that is pretty good at it, you do not have to be an expert. We just want you to be familiar enough with it so that you can actively participate in it. If you are too scared to go be online with us like this, you can join us as a viewer and still participate. You can still play along, comment in the comments, share what you're coming up with. If you're using ChatGPT and one of our contestants is using ChatGPT, that's okay too. You can learn along with them. You can share tips, tricks, whatever. You know, that's what it's for. It's for everybody to learn together how all these different tools and platforms work. How do we use them to solve real problems?
And if you're one of those people like me who heard Brent say all four, and you're like, but Brent, you missed this one.
You can bring that one too.
Raise your hand and say, I've got this other one that I want to use. I'm using it right now. But I mean, you got to throw Grok a little bit of love.
Oh yeah, bring Grok in for sure. They just launched a new video thing, right? Or is it a new audio, a new image thing?
The stuff that they're launching in the background is awesome. I'm in a very, very, very tough place with I say we because I've got a number of people in the family that are all involved in the business. I get super excited about technology and want to implement it and go and want to move these things. Others inside the organization like things to be in a particular place, working on those things and have things move along. That creates a little bit of tension in here. But yeah, they're so as far as what they've launched recently, I'm not sure. As far as what I'm doing with the tools, it is awesome to see the different perspective that each tool brings for a given challenge. And the challenge that I've been hitting the tools up is around modernizing old golf clubs.
Yeah. Is that why I keep seeing all of those old golf club pictures?
It is absolutely insane. Access to information that's out there. Anyhow, we're gonna have a fun challenge. We got a couple of different versions that we're kind of playing around with, and we're gonna work out loud. We're gonna learn together, and we're gonna help do.
Maybe Sean wants to be our Grok participant.
Yeah, you know, let's see who we get to kind of come along.
I don't know.
I mean,
that Sean guy. I don't know.
I don't know. He's not doing much. I think he's more. I think he's using. I'll find out when he's coming over. We've got a meeting a little bit later today. I think he's using. I think he in general using ChatGPT more than any other tool. But that's where we started, and that's where we built. Like we have. This was the frustrating. And I know we got to wrap this thing up. But the frustrating conversation that we had this weekend around copywriting. I've got multiple GPTs that I've created to help. With prompts that come up, like I'm having the GPT prompt engineer my family, like so the prompts are just buttons that are on here. And there were two of them that we talked about this weekend where it was like the first time that they had ever been discussed in the household. And that's the beauty of a family run business. I'm kind of like, imagine building something, putting it out there and having nobody use it. And realize that we're still running into the same problems that thing solved for. Man, it's painful. So anyway, I need to go. I'm gonna go cope with which is the GPT that wants to make you feel better. I think that's ChatGPT. I'm gonna go talk to ChatGPT and feel better a little bit later.
Yes, put it on sensitivity mode, and or go to Grok and put it on the coach voice or whatever the personal assistant voice won't cut it for this one. You got to put it on the personal psychiatrist voice or whatever. Anyways, hey, find me on LinkedIn. And where can everybody find you, Mike?
You can find your catalyst at findmycatalyst.com. We'll see you tomorrow morning, same bat time, same bat channel.
Indeed we will. Adios, everybody.